Alright. No, I'm back at it again. This time around I haven't actually done anything off camera. So, right back where I left off on the last video. Let me try to remember what I was doing. I know I was taking all the old armor off the base, redesigning everything. Need to expand out the oxygen tanks. Go ahead and finish that, I guess. It's gonna take a bit to do. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all I can put in build planner. So I'll start working on this. It's gonna be a pretty long and annoying process, but I just do it by hand for right now. I'm thinking if I burn through enough of that ice out of my inventory, do you know what? Actually, I'm thinking I might do it anyway, even if I don't burn through all that ice. I'll pull the mining ship out for a I'll run around just to show off the full capabilities of that vessel, because I am honestly quite proud of how well it seems to function. When I was initially like setting up the programming and everything for it, I thought the timer block to switch it from exiting the tunnel to coming to the dock, I thought that was going to end up being a pretty large issue and leading to problems with actually pulling all the way out of the tunnel before initiating the return to home. That AI flight path. And the first time around, I was fully expecting it to try to turn around inside the tunnel and damage the ship and everything, but surprisingly it actually worked well on the first go around, so pretty proud of it. I haven't done extensive testing with it yet though, so I don't know. I would imagine that if you go too deep into a tunnel with it, that eventually the timer won't be long enough, and it will eventually lead to issues with having it pretty much kill itself inside of a tunnel. So it's something that I definitely need to test more, but I'll see. See how it goes. Also, what is in my inventory still? Steel plates. I don't need that many steel plates, I don't think. Yeah, none of these have a requirement for that many steel plates, I guess. Just popped out another oxygen tank. Clear my hotbar real quick. And I would try to orientate this to have the all of them have the same orientation, but I'm feeling pretty lazy. So that sucks. I don't have my respawn station set or rebuild, I guess, yet. So for right now, recharging, I pretty much have to rely on the ship cockpit. I guess I do have the recharge packs in my inventory somewhere. Not sure where they went. Oh, right here. Yeah, power kits. I have several of those Unfortunately, you can't deconstruct or construct them. The only way you can actually obtain those is either through finding them in inventories, like derelict ships and the space pirate encounters. You can also buy them from stations. You can trade with the in-game space credits. So go ahead and grab the last few components for that. And there we go. And all these should slowly start filling up. Let's check for ice. Okay, yeah, I still have an absolute massive amount of ice. Don't think I'll ever really get through all this. Not with the kind of low amount of hydrogen storage I have. I guess it still has a good bit put in there, but anyway, let me get over here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to grind this off because it's not designed to actually have a landing pad on it. Oh, I just realized though, I don't have the dock. Yeah, I ground off the dock that this is supposed to line up to. Nope. So, the auto docking isn't going to work. Could still demonstrate it though, I guess. Let's see here. All batteries, toggle block on, so now I can actually fly it. And the asteroid I need is right here. So I'll just fly over here and grab some more ice. I won't be liable to need any more fuel for a while once I finish grabbing this. Oops. Flew a little fast into that. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell how close objects actually are. It's fine though, the Prototech drill is not damaged. I've seen a clip on YouTube where someone had utilized the Prototech drill as the head of a missile, and apparently that functions extremely well. Just because that block has so much health to it. But it's kind of a waste of Prototech in my opinion. I mean, unless you just like really well off, or if you have mods to make it more easily accessible. But essentially all I've done now is just turn on the drills, and all the thrust is just being done automatically. I have my hands off the keyboard. What you should see is one of the two AI flight blocks at the bottom should come on automatically once the cargo is filled up, and then it should back out by itself. And then we'll sit and wait for a few seconds before attempting to dock up to a dock that no longer exists. Yeah, so autopilot's enabled and it'll back itself out. Seems like it bumped a little bit. I don't think, yeah, nothing's damaged. And after a set amount of time, which I believe if I do just capital T, show hidden blocks. Oh, I need to type it in again. Yeah. Forgot what I named the timer. No, T exit right here. Right, so I can't change the delay because it's on all time to trigger right here. So in 2 seconds, yeah, I went ahead and switched over from the backout autopilot to the docking autopilot. And like I mentioned before, every time you do that, you want to go here to the AI rec exit. And the rec is just because it's the recorder block, but you want to come over here and you want to hit delete all waypoints every time you finish a run. I haven't found any way to do that automatically, which is kind of unfortunate. Also, oh, okay, I know why this. Right now it's trying to fly off into space in a seemingly random direction, but it's actually not random. The way that the AI flight recorders function is if you utilize a beacon when you go to the settings. So like down here at the bottom, there'll be options for reference beacons. If you have one selected and then it disappears or changes or whatever, then your flight path is going to be drastically affected by that. Because if you have your waypoint set for a beacon and that beacon disappears, those coordinates, the X and Y values that it saves, will no longer be in reference to the origin of that beacon, but will then be in reference to the origin of the actual like the GPS coordinates of everything in your save file. So like there'll be an X, Y, and Z coordinate for all of these planets, for all of these asteroids and everything. And if you set your coordinates in reference to the base beacon over there, or any other beacon or waypoint or whatever, and then it changes from being associated with that waypoint to then being associated with the full like world grid, the X and Y value is still saved correctly, but your reference origin changes. So then your ship will still try to go those coordinates, but it's in a different reference, meaning it will fly off to whatever random place that those coordinates would be with the world reference rather than the beacon reference. But now I have another full load of ice. Some of these inventories are going to be empty because like the dump sorters and dump connectors and all that, those aren't actually accessible by the ice. It's only accessible by stone, and only if you turn on the dump sorters. So, I mean, you could reconfigure that if you want and change it to fill up all those inventories as well. But just for the way that I want my the dumping system to function, I don't want those to be accessible, even though that is limiting how much I can actually carry with this ship. But now that I have a full load of ore, let's look at our landing. Go ahead and put this back on there, which actually you don't even need to fully weld that up for the auto lock to function. Like, as long as you place the block, you can actually have it lock to a grid regardless of if it's fully built or not. There are certain types of blocks that's not possible with, but the base game basic landing gears do actually auto lock even without being fully built, which is helpful because auto lock is enabled by default as well. So if you don't quite have enough resources to build a full landing gear, but you need to attach a non-static grid statically somewhere so it doesn't move, you can just place down a landing gear without fully building it, just to keep something in place for a limited time. Let's see here what we've done. So batteries have been set to recharge, and the reactor has been turned on, as well as the hydrogen engines, if they were still built, would also be turned on. However, I forgot I broke all those down. So, seem to have missed an oxygen tank, so fix that up. Double check, make sure I haven't missed anything else. Okay, so that's 16 oxygen tanks. So that's 16 batteries over here. Is that all the batteries I have? Just 16? Yeah, I suppose it is. Probably need to expand out the batteries. In fact... yeah, I could expand batteries out in between these oxygen tanks as well. I don't want to fully block the passages through all this conveyor, because I want to be able to actually fit through all this and access the internal conveying if I need to change things around, which I may eventually do, because I don't necessarily need all of these extra containers to be like sorted into. But I'll see. And then that hydrogen tank there is actually connected into that row of O2 generators, so I can probably get rid of these two, or well, actually just move them. Oh, never mind. Let me put that back because that has ice in it. Yeah. So let me not do that, because if I grind that down, then I'll have a big chunk of ice floating around that I'll have to do something with. Base cargo ore, yes, because I don't have any extra ores. Let's see, what can I do then? Thinking I'll get started on moving these event controllers that I got down here. Oh, another thing that's interesting as well, this small grid beacon, where it's attached to a rotor, and this is the beacon that I would normally be utilizing for all of my ship stocking. If somehow this rotor were to become unlocked and actually rotate by any meaningful amount of degrees, then all of my waypoints would be offset by however much this rotated. So that's kind of a pretty large liability here. But the advantage of having these all small grids is the large grid blocks for all this. It has the exact same functionality aside from the custom current control turret controller. The only difference with that one between small and large grid is the range that your custom turret could actually automatically detect and lock onto targets from. But all these other blocks are exactly the same. They have the exact same functionality on the small grid versus the large grid variant, except for these are like 1/8 size. Or I think that's about how it works out. I'm not 100%, but pretty sure it's about 1/8. But the advantage of it is just saves a whole lot of space. But I think I'm going to switch those over to large grids. So I'm going to need 2 of these event controllers. So you can see here, right? The large grid controller is 1 full block, whereas the small grid controllers are absolutely tiny in comparison. But I think I see a good place to throw these right. Throw one right here. Then I'll come around to the other side and I'll fill this gap with another one. And what I'll have these do is the exact same thing that the small grid ones are doing, which is to, once my batteries get to a low enough point, I actually switch between utilizing the batteries on auto versus changing them to recharge. So you can see, like, the batteries went on recharge not too long ago, the reactor kicked on, but now it's switched the reactor back off and turned these back to auto with a pretty good charge on. And that's all thanks to those 2 blocks here. The rest of these blocks, the solar array custom current controller, and then these 2 solar timers was only for the solar panel array that I had on the top of my base. But I don't think I actually need that anymore, considering I ground all that off. And I have a absolute ton of uranium. Yeah, I still have 1.43 kilograms of uranium, and 1 gram lasts you quite a large amount of time. Not so much with the large reactors, but with the small reactors especially, like 1 gram of uranium is good for probably a couple IRL days. But the beacon, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. And I might as well just go ahead and grind all that down. And get rid of all that. Means that I can get rid of these now.
Inventory full.
Okay, I thought that was gonna happen. It took me a really long time to learn what the keybind was to automatically dump your inventory. It's Alt middle mouse, and that dumps everything that you can out of your inventory into a cargo container. Very, very helpful for speedily dropping off stuff you don't need. But now that I have those 2 new event controllers, which, let me see here, base oxygen. Go ahead and, oops, grab just these oxygen tanks and the base oxygen, save, show block terminal off. Okay, that had all of that. Then I want to do the same thing with, oh, okay, I don't actually have a group for the base hydrogen, so I'll make one instead. Go to group hide. So I have base O2 tanks, and I want to change that to be base. Then I can delete that one. Go. And these base cargo containers, I want to keep it on for show and inventory, but I want to turn off the terminal so that way it doesn't junk up my terminal terminal view. And currently, yeah, I only have the one gravel sifter, so all these blocks should only have one of. It's pointless to make a group for them this early on because there's only one of them, so you're not saving any amount of space.
Energy low.
Let me go sit inside the Maggie, so charge up the suit, and then while I'm doing this I can still actually go here to the menu. And I still have access to these event controllers. You'll just notice that they're a different color. And if it's anything other than white, then you know that those blocks are on a separate grid, aside from if they're grayed out. If they're grayed out, they're on the same grid that you're accessing the control panel through. But if they're a different color, whether it's bright or grayed out, that's a separate grid. And as far as I can tell, there's not really much of a limit to how many times you can stack that. Like, it'll just keep changing colors to like slightly different shades and stuff. So you'll see this plate is yellow, all these are orange. So those are two completely separate grids from all of this that's gray and white. So that's just a really nice way to determine if what you're looking at is on your grid or on a separate grid. But this one here, I'll name Power EC for event controller. We'll do 1, and this will be for charge. And this one, we'll do Power EC 2. Yeah, to work. I don't. No, actually, I don't like that. I'll call it auto instead. Okay. And I guess actually I should name this base. Just so that way I don't get it confused if I happen to use a similar name for another grid. So what we want the event to be is power stored. So charge, we want it to be equal to or less than. And once my batteries get down to, oh, I don't know, let's say 20% power, I want it to activate. And what I need to do is select the batteries. Now, you'll notice over here, this is orange to designate this on a separate grid. But you're accessing this list of blocks through that block. So everything white over here is on the same grid as everything orange over here. And that's because you're accessing that through a block on that grid. So this event controller, if I select only these batteries with the white label, that is selecting everything that's on the same grid as the event controller. If I select any other color, that's from a separate grid of the from the point of view of the event controller. So what I want to do is select all the white batteries that are in this list And I want to try to remember to control click, because if I do a regular click by mistake, it deselects everything else. I want to go through and just select all these batteries. There we go. I can hit add blocks. You'll see it will remove the batteries that I have selected from the available and place them in the selected. So now we'll see I have the jump drive and the batteries all in separate. Is separated out, so that way you don't get too easily confused over which one's which. And the next thing I want to do is to hit the AND gate, because what the AND gate does, with it disselected, if any one of these batteries gets below 20%, it will turn them all to recharge and kick on the power generation. So they'll all eventually, you know, get off to different power levels and stuff, right? Whereas if the AND gate is on, once all of these get at or below 20%, then power generation will kick on. And what that's helpful for is if you first place down, like you're expanding out your battery bank or whatever, you don't want your battery, like when you place that, you don't want all of your batteries to go to recharge right then, because that's what will happen. Because when you place a battery and you repair it, it's not going to be above 20%. It's going to be well below that. It will have some power to it, base game without mods, but it will be below the point, and if you don't have the AND gate selected, it will kick on your power generation and turn off your batteries, and you'll burn a bunch of uranium that you don't need to be burning. So you want to hit the AND gate for that. And now we can set up the actions. So once that condition is met, what we want to do is go here to the groups. I want to do base battery. I want to turn on the recharge. And then when the condition is not met, actually we don't want to enable auto, now that I think about it. So when the condition's met, we only want to turn the batteries to recharge, and we only want to kick on our generator. And then on the auto, what we want to do for the setup for this is basically the same. We want to do not power output, we want to do stored power. And then the same thing, we want to select the white batteries in this menu, because on the same grid from the point of view of the event control. So I want to select only these batteries. Select that, deselect the jump drive, add block, let's double check that everything is as it should be. Okay. And what we want to do for the auto, because it doesn't really matter if you have the AND gate on for this or not, but I would recommend having this on, because what it will do is basically you won't have one battery that's a little less than the rest of them, right? Like if you add a new battery on, it's low percentage, but it doesn't kick on the recharge, that battery is going to hit 0, while the rest of them are still going to be at about 20 or above or whatever. But anyway, point being, once all the batteries hit 20, you might have a few that are already at 0. And if you leave this off, once one of them reaches the threshold, it will stop charging for all the rest of them. And you don't want that, because then you'll have some batteries that have too low of a charge. If you hit the AND gate, all of them will be at or above whatever limit we set up here, which we want to have equal or greater than, and then we put in what percentage we want to charge up to. So let's say, I don't know, 85%. That sounds good to me. So now, with this set up, the charge will kick on, and it'll turn on the batteries and all that, or turn them to recharge, and turn on my power generation. And then once all these batteries hit that threshold, it will activate this event control. But we don't have any actions set up yet. So what we want to do is go to actions. We want this one to do the opposite of the other one. So when the condition for this one's met, we want to enable auto, and then we want to turn off our large reactor. And once we get the hydrogen engines set back up, we'll want to come back in here, go to tab 3, and do enable and disable the hydrogen engines in both of these blocks. And now that I'm thinking about it, actually, I kind of want to just go ahead and hit not quite 100. Guess we'll do 95. Just that way, if some batteries are just a little bit above or a little bit below, it won't burn up too much uranium for no reason. And one thing that sucks is utilizing with batteries like this. The default batteries have a 20% power loss when charging. So for however much power is stored in a battery, you've had to produce 20% more with whatever your source of power actually was. So you just basically lose 20% of your power. It's perfectly fine for solar because you're not actually gaining or losing anything. But with the reactors and stuff, you're actually burning fuel. Same with the hydrogen engines, where you're burning fuel. You have to actually burn 20% more than what you're storing, which kind of sucks, but the Prototech batteries, I think, have a much better ratio. Finally, yeah, Prototech battery. Able to volumes. It doesn't actually tell me the power loss ratio here, fortunately, but I think on the batteries themselves it does. I can't build a Prototech battery in survival to check it, but I can look at batteries I already have. Yeah, charge efficiency 80%. So when you're charging batteries up, you're losing 20% of the power that you actually generated. Which, I mean, that's realistic, though. That's sort of a real-world issue with batteries as well, is it actually takes more energy than what you're just putting, like storing in the battery to actually charge it. Yeah. Like in real life, there's a lot of small losses in just about everything. There's no perfect environment where 100% of your energy goes into exactly just what you want it to. There's always going to be energy loss in one way or another, be it heat generation or emitting light, emitting radiation of some sort. So, yes, that's just kind of a neat little thing to think about. Thinking I'm gonna put my hydrogen engines off the side of these hydrogen tanks. Because I should be able to comfortably fit 3 on each tank. Probably do 9 across 2 tanks. If I could spell, there we go. Hydrogen engines, we'll place the vent controllers over there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm surprised I was actually able to pull parts through the oxygen tank. But here we go. Let's see here. How can I get this up to actually interface in a reasonable manner? I can connect them like that. Come down, and then it's wasting space. So I could do a row of conveyors and then have the hydrogen engine sticking off in that direction. You can just do them vertically. Let's see, I need them to go like that. And I would need the hydrogen engines to go. Oops. I only have a half-size keyboard, which sucks for trying to do rotation, because rotation's already annoying, because you have to utilize your page up, page down, home, and delete. But where on my keyboard it's only a half size, so I don't have a numpad, so my keys are all tied in with having to press Fn and then a key with extra meaning. So like my page up is the Fn of L, the end key is Fn of the less than symbol, my page down key is the Fn of my greater than symbol. So it makes it even extra confusing to try to orientate blocks the correct way around. Also, I'm realizing I'm going to need to do that just temporarily so I can actually place these where they connect on the bottom, because the port is actually down here for the side, but it wants to place from the top half, so and I don't think I have enough. Oh, okay, no, I don't actually. Nice. So yeah, I can do one row like that, then grind that back out. And I forgot a couple. Yeah, wait, is that facing the right way? Yes, it is, okay. This one isn't. There we go. So yeah, I could do, let's see, what is that? That's 10 hydrogen. Yeah, 10 hydrogen engines per 2 tanks. enough to actually build all of these, because I spread the resources out for one of each block across a ton of blocks. I'm thinking I actually will go for that though. Let's go here and I'll charge up everything real quick. And I don't need to make a waypoint because I have ice phase, so I should be able to find my way back to the base. Because remember, I did delete my beacon, so there's no actual waypoint for the base itself, but where I have that ice waypoint or GPS set, I can just go to that GPS and find my base. It's really easy to kind of forget when you do stuff like that. So you have to be extra mindful of making sure that you can actually find your base and ships and stuff, at least when you're in space. When you're on planets, it's not so bad because you can have actual waypoints, or not waypoints, but what's it called? Ooh, that's nice. Land markers. That's what I was looking for. Is that a private sale? That is over here somewhere, I think. Oh, that's not it. Yeah, I'm almost. Oh, never mind. Yeah, right there. That one doesn't have solar panels on it, but I don't think I'll want that. Alright. So let's go and grab the conveyor junction. And I want to pull parts for 2 of these. And copy what I did over on that side. Although this time, I realize I can place just 1 here. And now, I place the engines, I can place them connected to each other, so I realize I don't need the block that I only need the 1 just to get the first one set, and then I can build off of the rest. So I can do that, and grind that junction off. So yeah, I think that will be a nice little array for turning the hydrogen into power. Let's see. Yeah, that should be fine. And then if I need to expand the power generation further, I can just build these kind of off that way. I can build them on connector end to connector end and then face that output back up and then kind of do an offset and just sort of have them zigzag to expand out. That should work out just fine. So I guess now comes the tedious part. So, the character down in here. So I got my mag pick to kick off. Yeah, there we go. item in my build planner. Okay, so that's all those done. Just do the same thing here. Oh. Nice, I already had a bunch of parts in that one. Now I just need to do that 2 more times. Oh god, my bag boots are working funky. There we go. I should already have, if not all, close to all of the parts I need, just from all the components I've gotten from scavenging ships. Grab the next one.
Energy low.
I'll finish this one up and then fly back over to the Maggie to charge back up again. Alright. That's that. Now, if you were paying attention to how I'm actually building these, like the order, I'm finishing off all these engines before actually connecting them to a hydrogen source. And I'm doing that specifically to avoid them kicking on as soon as they're connected to hydrogen, because default when you build a block, it builds in the on state. So if I were to build some of them and then build the conveyors and then build some of them and then build more conveyors, then while I'm building, I would have my hydrogen being burned for power generation, which I don't want that to happen just yet, because right now all my batteries are in a well enough charged state I don't need to burn fuel right now. So what I want to do is go ahead and get all of these built up, finish off, and then put into a group that I can then go ahead and program into my power generation before I connect them up. So what I'll do is I'll just hop into the Maggie, hit the control panel here, And then just so I only have the hydrogen engines, go ahead and type in hydrogen, and the thing that's up here is the hydrogen engines, of which I now have 25, it seems. No, 21, because I don't have a hydrogen engine 1. Or 24, I mean. Shift click, oops. And I'll name this block base H2 engines. Save that. We'll hide the block from the terminal. We'll turn off the blocks. And now, on charge, I want page 3 to turn on the base hydrogen engines. And then on auto, page 3, I want to turn off the hydrogen engines. So now I can go, ooh, I took my helmet off by mistake. Go. I'm gonna need to build that respawn station pretty soon. Now I can actually build these conveyors, and it won't cause these engines to kick on immediately because they're all turned off and will only turn on once the batteries need to be charged. Okay, so build planner search capacity. Start building off some of these. I should have been a little more smart in not covering up those until last. So this time around, keeping that in mind, I will skip over the conveyor over the port. So 1, 2, 3. I should be able to pull, yep, all the components I need for these last few. There we go. Now I have a full wall of hydrogen engines set up to aid in power generation. And it seems I have all of these tanks full. Let me go here to the hydrogen tanks. I'll just turn off the stockpile. So yeah, now they're all green. And now, I'm thinking actually, I can probably expand hydrogen out this way, and then do engines out this way. And then that way I don't need to make a stick coming off the end of the base going in that direction for the hydrogen. Because this here is already going to be a stick, so I can just have it kind of follow suit. Let's see. I think those have the same storage space, if I'm not mistaken. Differences in size and how they connect. Well, actually not even in size, they're the same size, it's just the connection ports, because this only has a port on the top and on the bottom. Whereas this has ports all the way around, so it's probably better if I just do standard tanks like I had been doing. And just for sake of looks, to keep them in the same orientation. Do form of these hydrogen tanks. What I'll do before I grab this is put whatever resources I have on me in there, then grab the blueprint for that one. Oh boy, this really is fun, isn't it? Having to go back and forth. I think, can I? Yes. Just to shorten the trip a little bit. Then I should be able to do the same here. Closer, there we go. I think that's all, yeah, that's all the components of this one, so I'm ready to finish that off. Okay, that's all the components of this one. There we go. So now I have effectively doubled my hydrogen storage. Now if I go, oops, control panel, then we want the base H2 tanks, and then control click these, save, show block and terminal. There we go. Now if I get my weld tool out of my hand so I can actually see the menu, H2 tanks, I can store 120 million liters of hydrogen, and I'm just over halfway there. So it looks like I produce about, what is that, 10,000 liters per second. So that's not too bad as far as my H2 generators go. I can actually expand that out once I run out of ice here. Which again, I think that's going to take a while. So I have 500,000 there. So yeah, that's almost 1 million grams of ice. Yeah, these lights not being lined up is fucking killing my OCD right now. Oh, and this is fucking horrible. Oh man, that's gonna bug me so much. I should have spent the time to orientate them all in the same direction. Alright. Now the question is, do I go ahead and expand off the hydrogen engines now, or do I hold off until I actually need additional power? think I'll hold off for right now. 205. Okay, next thing I want to do, I guess, is go ahead and get some jump drives going. So clear my hotbar and search for jump. And we'll grab this. And
Energy low.
grab some components. Okay, well, energy is low, so we'll head off to Maggie first. Let me get rid of that. So that's not blocking my view. And interestingly, one thing that can be done for anyone who isn't familiar with the game and knows like the pretty common mining methods, you can actually set up miners on pistons with merge blocks in a specific orientation to where you can have a projector and welders set up. You just dump resources in and it will keep adding on piston segments to a like bore drill miner, and you can extend that drill down as it goes and bore a hole pretty much infinitely as long as you have the resources. And you can sit like an ice miner on a static grid on an asteroid and just let it go. You can have it set up to refine that ice down into fuel if you want, and have basically a fueling station like tied to an asteroid if you want. Personally, I don't really like that style of fueling station. I prefer to keep everything on the move, right? I don't want to be tied down to one specific location, because once you start like really burning through resources, then you'll eventually eat up all the close by asteroids, all the good deposits off those close by asteroids. Whereas if you from the start keep everything mobile, you don't have to worry about burning through your local asteroid supply and having to go on longer and longer supply runs. You can just move the whole base, and you don't have to do any retrofitting to make that doable. So this right here, where it's taking so long to actually produce those, is actually exactly why you want to be able to expand off your assemblers. So that way you can make that happen a whole lot faster. If you have like 4 or 5 assemblers all with speed mods on, then you can put them all in basically like to work in conjunction. I forgot what the actual thing was for it. Let's see here. Base assemblers. What's it called? Cooperative mode. Basically in cooperative mode, if you queue up components and everything, it will split that order between all of the assemblers with cooperative mode and enabled. If I can stop burping, excuse me. And basically you effectively multiply how fast you can produce a set amount of components by how many assemblers you actually have. So if you have like 2 assemblers, you can produce twice as fast. If you have 3 assemblers, you can produce 3 times as fast as you would otherwise. And then with the assembler with the speed mods, now you've multiplied it a couple of times, and it's pretty nice to be able to expand out your production capabilities in that manner, to where it's not quite exponential growth, but it is pretty nice to be able to just add more to get more out of it. I think the next thing I want to work on, once I get this jump drive turned on and everything, get a group made for these and stuff, I kind of want to go ahead and get more batteries put in, because I feel like adding in all these additional assemblers and jump drives which need to be charged and everything, it's going to overwhelm the output capacity for my batteries. Base batteries, let's see. That away so I can read it. Not magazine, I want the base batteries. So the power output, my maximum capable power output is 9.3 megawatts per battery. So multiply that by 16 and that's my maximum possible power output. And if I have too many devices connected and I exceed that maximum power output by trying to run all those things all at one time, it will cause certain things to lose power, come back on, lose power, come back on. And especially for like assemblers and refineries, when that happens, it severely limits how quickly they can produce items, which is not fun when you're in a situation where you really need a lot of things to be done quickly. Just makes you have to wait, and waiting sucks. Trying to decide whether I want to actually fill all that space with batteries, or if I want to try to leave some open. I'm thinking I might go ahead and just fill all of that space, because I definitely have the amount of hydrogen I need to be able to run those engines to recharge these batteries. So I should be able to have the capacity to charge that amount of batteries. So that would be 4, 8, that would be 16, so 32, so that would be 64 batteries, minus 4 here, and 2 here, because I already have 2 there, so 64 minus 6, that would be 38, so I'd have 38 additional batteries if I filled that space out with them. Finish off this jump drive. It should charge automatically. Required input 32 megawatts. Current input 32 megawatts. And this also has a 20% loss of power. So for the maximum stored power, which is 3 megawatt hours of stored power, I have to give it an extra 20% of that, which is lost. But it only takes 6 minutes to charge, which isn't too bad. And I've effectively doubled my jump range and the amount of mass that I can jump with, which is exactly what I need to do if I'm going to be jumping with all of these ships attached to it. Because each one of these is a massive amount of additional mass, which the more mass you have, the less of a distance you can jump. And the drop-off is pretty severe once you get over the limit for how much weight you can jump with. But what I do want to do is go here to jump. We'll just enable this to be jump drive. And yeah, I don't have to number it. It'll be fine. Stupid. Base jump drives. Save that. And we'll turn that one off. Because I want to be able to access one directly. Because if I go here. Oh, actually. No, it does give me the option. So never mind, I do want to hide that one as well. Because if base jump drives here, yeah, I can actually select the GPS markers from here, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want to be able to do. So now I'll rip that off of my hotbar and grab one. Oh, I don't even have the storage space to hold all the components for a single battery, more or less multiples. Interesting.
Energy low.
So just placing these. My energy is low, so I'll hop into this. And I'm thinking about it now, I won't be able to reach some of those batteries I just placed, so before I start welding I will remove some, so that way I can actually reach them to weld. Because the two in the very middle in there I won't be able to get to. So what I'll do... Right, not that. And now I should be able to reach all of them to weld them. And I can fill in that gap later. Do this over there. Snap that over the top. Now I want to do one here. That one here so that way I can reach those. And to copy that here and copy it once more here. There we go. And now we get to do the tedious part of building again. I almost certainly will run out of power cells, which I think I've already done. Power cells. Yeah, okay, I don't have enough. So I'll put those to production. And these are going to be quite slow. go. Fully pulled off that battery. Base batteries. Go ahead and that in there. Should turn them off. There we go. Now that's connected up to the grid. And the rest of these, let's see, how many would that be? I think I said, what, 28 minus 1 because I finished one. So, calculator. 28, and I know each one needs 80 power cells, so I need 2,240 power cells. Here to production, and we want to do 2,240. So that should queue up everything I need as far as the power cells go. And whilst that does its thing, move the battery to the end of my hotbar. And we'll do another assembler. Do speed modules. We'll grab the conveyor pipes. And let's see, what do I need to do in order to get additional assemblies hooked? So I can't pull components through the engines, but I can pull through the tanks. Okay. What I'm going to do is rip that pipe off and exchange it for one of these facing this way. And I want to do the standard straight pipe there, one there, and then just because I'm assuming I'll probably want more, do an open pipe there. And I want to place this assembler straight up. I don't have the components I need for it, so we'll go to one of these oxygen tanks, grab those, put that in there. Do I want it to be connected to? Yeah, I do actually. So instead of having it here, we'll move it out by one. Yep. And the assembler. And then the speed mods. And then before I place the cargo container, I want to make sure I build up this assembler. Check. Can't withdraw anything from here, so. Still missing 4 plates. Can't pull anything off that because it's not connected. So go back over here, grab that. There. And now go ahead and plop down this cargo. don't remember, what did I name this one? Base cargo ingots. We'll come over here. Control panel. Delete that. Base cargo ingots 2. Okay. Build planner, nothing on it. So we'll grab 4 of the speed mods. I should actually be able to pull components straight from here. Not with the drone. Why not? Do I not have any more parts? That is very possible. Nope, okay, I do have one. Oh, right, because this isn't hooked back in yet. Okay. Go, and now my build planner should be empty again, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull those parts in there. So I need to come over here. And before I connect this one up, I want to go to the control panel here and turn cooperative mode on and finish piping it up. So now, if I go here to production, base assembler, and then base assembler 30. So yeah, they're both producing batteries, meaning it should go twice as fast now.
Energy low.
And there's my warning to get back into Maggie's cockpit. Close. There we go. Now, building all of these batteries is going to be an absolute pain in the ass to do. But with that many batteries, I should only ever have to do it once. I don't think that I'll be actually reaching the limit of the power output capacity of this number of batteries anytime soon, even if I do maybe 2 more jump drives and all of them are charging at once. I don't think I'll actually reach the limit. Let's see, 32 megawatts is the output of that. Each battery has an output of what, it was like 9 megawatts, and I don't even know how many batteries I have. Be 68 in total, I think, roughly. So open calc, enter. We'll do 68 times 9 divided by 32. Yeah, I'd be able to simultaneously charge roughly 19 jump drives at one time without reaching the power output limit for that many batteries. And I'm probably not going to ever need 19 jump drives. If there's anything I'm ever doing that requires me to jump that far, then I'm probably so far late into the game that the battery limit's not really going to matter. I'll be able to probably print off like whole sections the size of this base of just batteries by that point. I don't think there's any project I would ever do that would require that amount of power storage. Can probably do a couple more refineries now if I wanted. I'm thinking instead of expanding the refineries out right now, though, I might just do another cargo. There's a couple of parts in here. No. I wonder. No, you can't actually pull parts from that either. I can fully sit in the cockpit, go to inventory, pull parts. Yeah, I can do that. And we're refineries right here. So I'll go ahead and place down another cargo for this. And what I want to make sure I do is actually rotate it like this. So that way this cargo won't connect directly with the assembler below it through that conveyor port there. Because I want the inventory access for these refineries to be limited through the sorters. So that way these can't grab all of the high value works. That's going to be limited to only this refinery with the yield box. Can I sneakily grab stuff here? Yes. Yes, I can. That's just about everything. Oh, I got oxygen tanks in here. I didn't have to go that far. Okay. So now we got that. And this one is called... Oh, just a large... No. Base cargo ore. Okay, never mind. I was looking at the wrong thing. Over there at the top, top right-hand side, it says base cargo ore. That's the block I'm actually looking at. I was looking below that at the components window. But yeah, base cargo ore. So we'll do base cargo 2 ores. Base cargo ore 2 and short-term health. Okay. And now I can get rid of those. We can do binary. You know what? I just realized this needs over 1,000 steel plates. I'm not going to expand that out right now. I'm going to wait instead until I have a large grid filter. These batteries are going to be a pain in the ass enough. And I don't want to start on more than that. Okay. And what I want to do first is those two. And okay, so that's 2 more batteries. And now I can grab those to fill in that space. Stuck inside my inventory system. I no longer want to be in there, let me out. Thankfully. I can do that. Got back for this one. Okay. Empty. There we go. And fill that in. And now do the same thing. This one.
Energy low.
and try to finish that battery off. There. Head over to Maggie to charge up. What side was I on? I think it was. Yeah. Actually, let's see, he's gonna wait to do that. Or not easier, but a faster. God, I wish I could pull from these. not gonna lie, doing this here makes me tired as all get out, man. Can't withdraw 80 power cells. Hold on. What's going on? Did I severely misundercalculate how many I needed? I probably did. Let's see, that was 8. Plus 8, so that's 16, so that's 32, so that's 64. Oh. Yeah, I severely underestimated how many I needed. Okay. And that's, what, 80 for that one? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19... 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So that's 25 more, I think. 25 times 80. It's another 2,000 power cells. Production. Go, get another 2,000 going. Here, where was I? Let's see, up here. Yeah, so once. There we go.
Energy low.
So, my base is actually finally getting some proper mass to it. The general cargo storage still looks kind of ridiculous though, being all in one line rather than kind of bricked up like everything else is. Let's kind of take a step back here. Just look at the base for a second. I can probably move some of those containers around. I don't really feel the need to, but I don't know. I have to debate on that a little bit more. I'm thinking I probably will eventually change that around some. See, these speed modules, I don't really care what they're connected to, I just want to hide them. This base assemblers, control click, save, show block a terminal off, okay. base batteries. To shift click all of these. Well, that's everything. That's not what I wanted. Yeah. So that should be just those batteries, and that save show block terminal on off. Yeah, that hides all the batteries. Wonderful. Base cargo 2 ingots. Show blocking terminal off. Okay. So the only thing that I need to do once I get all the rest of those batteries built is just go into my power ECs and select all the new batteries. Come over here. Grab this unknown signal. Rainbow suit. I'm going to definitely exchange that for a token. Grab that. Grab that. Anything else over here? Base is right there. And back at the base. So there's my credits. Just throw that in there. I need to go and find all these tools, move them over to an assembler, and break them back down because I don't need all these extra basic tools or weapons and stuff. Go ahead and charge up this suit real quick. No. Not where was it? Yeah, so I still have 960 power cells. That's perfect. Wait, can I actually get to those? Yes, I can. Ooh. About had a mini panic attack there, thinking I wouldn't be able to reach those batteries for a second. So all the ones on the bottom finished. So we need to finish these two. I really need to look and see if I can find a mod on the workshop that would let me pull from these conveyor junctions rather than having to go to only specific ports that actually let you interact to pull items. I think it's only those 8 left. No, there's one right here I missed. And okay, I already did that one. So I think it is only those 8 left. Pull from there. I'll make this one fast. Mining transport. Oh. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be grabbing that. That is an absolute pain in the ass to dismantle those. You kind of have to break it down into quarters, which is difficult to do. Not difficult, but just a pain to do. It would be easier if it was like, I don't know, if the main body of it wasn't kind of a brick of its own, because like it's got those two side kind of like thruster packs sort of on either side, and then the body in the middle, like you can see a little bit of a connector in between the two, but on the other side there's like a whole large chunk you can't see from this angle, but it's got like all the control stuff inside. So kind of breaking the side thruster packs off is a little bit of a pain to do without having all those little armor pieces becoming detached and wanting to float around. So that's not worth my time. Let me go charge up. Actually, now with the production capability of my base, since it's expanding so rapidly, really there's not a lot of salvage that is actually ever going to be worth my time aside from the Factorum stuff now. In conjunction with that mining ship, I can probably get enough resources to produce like full-on ships just from refining down stone into ores. Smoked all the juice out of my vape already. Need to fill it back up again. Take a moment to do that. Alright, that should be good. It's just about full. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, now I'm not smoking burnt cotton. Can't throw from there. Wait. No, don't tell me I'm out of power cells. Damn, man. Okay. So, I still miscalculated. Spending another 320. Production shift 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I think I did that wrong. 2, 6, 7, 8. There we go. That should be 320 on the nose, I think. Regardless of whether it is or isn't, it doesn't really matter, because I need to get to work on this anyway. thought I grabbed everything. There we go. Come on, am I really out of power cells again? And I need 2 more. Could have sworn I double clicked that. There we go. Alright, I think that's all of the batteries done. Let me do a quick once over, check all the sides. Okay, I know I already did all the internal ones. So, yeah, that's all of them. Okay, let's go sit in the Maggie while I do the configuration for all that. So, okay, yeah, all the batteries are in the group already, so I should be able to do the power charge. And then available blocks. Shift click, add. Shift click, add. Shift click, add. Shift click, add. Don't want the jump drives or the Maggie batteries involved in that. And I want to do the same exact thing over here. Oops. There we go. Okay, so that's all of the batteries added. So that should be full configuration. Oh. Alright. Let's check hydrogen tanks. Full panel. So we're not producing any more hydrogen, so I think I've burnt through all that ice. Yes, I did. So I can safely remove those. G and do H2O2 gen. And oops, wrong button. Damn it. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and I can do it there. Base H2O2 gens, control click these, save, show block and terminal off. Alright. I should actually be capable of essentially duplicating that same layout that I have here over here. Do I really need that Nino? Don't think so. Guess that'll be fine. So that's just one extra block. So if I do another one, then third cargo container should fit perfectly over top of it. I don't think I need a full extra cargo container for one additional refinery, so I'll hold off on that. Another jump right. Well, maybe I could do with that another one for right now. So indecisive, man. Yeah, I guess that'll be fine. I guess the next thing on the agenda would be breaking down the ship, just so I can get rid of it and not have to worry about redocking it. And then probably the next thing would be deciding how I want to do the docking system. Because I need to get all the docks placed back in and reconfigure all of the ship's auto landing feature. The new waypoints, well, aside from Mercy 2, or Maggie 2, I mean, because Maggie will dock up to Mercy, so I don't need a dock for that one. The other ones I do them. I'm thinking the mining ship can probably do maybe at the end of the cargoes. Alright, I guess I could have her, or him, Doug, is in the mining ship. I could have him dock upside down on top of the cargoes there, maybe? I'm not sure. That's something to figure out later, but for right now, I'm just going to grab this unknown signal real quick, and then I'm going to head off to the main menu, turn all my cosmetics that are duplicates into tokens, and then gamble those tokens for new cosmetics. base. Yeah, that is a massive ass asteroid right there. That whole thing is nothing but ice. I think the hydrogen engine's kicked on. No? Maybe not. Time left 7 weeks. Wait, is that the power like from the battery banks? Fully depleted in 43 days. Okay. Current output, stored power. 881 kilowatt hours. Total required. I'm running on 62.5 kilowatt hours. That's what my base is currently requiring right now. And the available is 888 megawatt hours. So that's doing pretty well. Yeah, that's doing extremely well actually. Yep, okay. So I'll go ahead and here, exit, save. Let's go and head over to the cosmetics real quick. Cycling only duplicates. Put that on the second token. Second token. Oh, there's input drill and the calip rifle. Guess I didn't have the rainbow drill already, but I do have the calip rifle, so I'll cycle that. Yeah, where is the gold? Okay, so I do have the gold rifle. Okay. Fresh. Okay. And go ahead and recording.